How can you see what's
Okay, good morning traders and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. So this is Bruce at Bookmap. We're doing live analysis here like every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. It's forward looking. We read the current market and give insight to where we think price is going to move next. It's all based on our educational course that you can find on our website. We have JTrader tomorrow. He will be trading live. It's in demo mode. He's a stock trader. And then we have Scott Pulcini on Thursdays. He is a futures trader, also trading in demo, but live. And then we have Tom B in the afternoon after this webinar ends at 11:30. And he will go right into his live forward-looking analysis using volume profile and order flow in Bookmap. All right, so lots of pretty robust educational package that we offer, and this is all free. I really encourage you to compare with others out there if they offer something of this kind of quality that is free, that is daily, and is forward-looking. Anyway, let's go through some disclosures. This is important so you know what you're getting involved with. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in here and immediately go into it. The market open here, 9:30. You can see the move to the upside. Looks like a nice short squeeze to me, and then look at the sellers come right back in. All right, so yesterday, let's just recap a little bit what happened yesterday. I want to go over actually something that I was looking at and I tweeted about, and we'll just go over the recap here. So from yesterday, we looked at the daily, the hourly, and then also the 15-minute chart here. Okay, we had a downward bias here on the daily. The hour chart was really kind of all over the place. There's a lot of buying pressure coming in and some selling. I mean, you see the selling here. Okay, buying here, selling here, bouncing off of these levels, buying coming back in, selling coming back in, really all over the place in here. 15-minute chart yesterday, well, it opened up down lower. Very, very choppy session here. Here's the entire day basically, for the entire webinar, and then we did get a retest back up here. These lines we drew in before they got tested, and we had a downward bias though. So just based on the overall structure, the hourly didn't help us too much. The daily though, we're looking for a move lower. Look where it tested. Okay, so our line again here at our 3840 level was tested. We were looking for that, and that segues into the tweet. So let me go over that. Basically, yeah, so basically like a choppy session, and this was the open here, the move to the downside. We were still looking for a move to the downside based on our overall higher time frame look. So I started to see like we made a lower high in here in the structure. I started to see, okay, we do have buyers here, but the overall control here is by sellers. Okay, some buying that we noticed during the webinar that came in, and then there's some more buying in here, but I see sellers down here. I saw sellers again here is kind of covered by the triangle. I am looking for the drop. I'm looking for the drop to first target at low of the day, second target, the higher time frame level, our 3840 level that we were looking at and talked about yesterday. Okay, I got stopped out. I put my stop above the range here, thinking that okay, well, if price does go above here, likely it will test back up to the top of this of the open here. which is what it did. So I gave it a shot. I had my reasons for my stop. I got stopped out. I noticed that the selling came back in, and then we're down to our pivot lines. If you guys know, we discussed many times over these levels in here. There's a level in here. Started to see some sellers come in. I'm looking for the sellers to push it through. Okay, they've gone up, they retested the top. We have a beautiful double top pattern up here. I wasn't around at that point. I would have loved to have taken it around here and then taken some off down here and look for a runner. Anyway, I'm looking for the push through. It immediately went against me. I had bracketed orders, so I moved my stop up here, then I moved my targets down here. I saw a lot of selling come in. At this point, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to move my targets down as well, and I want to see them trade through the 38.50 and below, and then I also had the target down here at the 38.40. Okay, just like before. Then this is the end of the session here, and then we have the beginning of the I held it over the extended trading hours. Okay, I'm still looking for that test lower. I saw quite a bit of selling coming in here, so I thought, okay, well, if they're going to start selling, I was in front of my screen, and at the last moment here, I was able to drop it down here, thinking that, well, why get, if I see the selling in here, they're probably going to shoot right for it. Okay, so I put my both take profits, pretty close to this 38.40 level, and then got filled in the overnight. Now the overnight, any questions on this? Let me know. This is the same process that we went through yesterday, and I wanted to show a stop out as well as getting back in and then looking for the overall direction to take place. All right, so let me know if you have any questions, and then let's see here. Then we'll jump into the current market as well. Okay, so hold on a minute. Good morning, Guido and Nicolo. All right, and in Discord, no questions. Good morning, Jimmy. No, okay. All right, so we can move on. Well, let's take the same approach here. Let's look at what's going on here in these charts. Okay, well, our bias in here, the daily, it came back down and tested into this level here, and there were some buying tails in here, so a little bit of a bounce, as we can see today. It's a green candle or a doji right now, more or less. And then the hourly chart, boy, we're still not getting much clarity out of this. This little cluster here, and then see the buying come in, the pause, and then the buying continued. So we've retested that area, and it just seems to be going back and forth in here. 15-minute chart, okay, well, some interesting choppy action here at the open. I thought if it was going to continue yesterday into this 38.40 level, that we'd get the continuation lower, maybe into this level down here or here, where the buyers start to come in. And we didn't. Instead, we got the kind of short squeeze at the open and just more kind of chop here. But the sellers have come right back in, and we're right back down now, again, around this 38.40 level. So it's kind of do or die here. Now, the momentum, or the order flow, just by reading the size and the length of the candles in here, we've tested down here a couple times. We came down to, it was even lower than that. It came down to about here, 38.20. So it did test down here, and it bounced. So you can see that on, I think, one of these charts in here. Was it the daily? Yeah, on the daily you can see it. Anyway, here we are at 38.40. Okay, so again, looking to see if sellers can push it through and retest back down into the 38.20 level, and then 3800 the figure. Okay, there's we will have data this week. We have actually some really important data regarding good morning, Jeffrey, regarding inflation. So we have retail sales and we have CPI. Retail sales, I think, is what, on Friday, and I think CPI is tomorrow. Is that right? And I think the market is kind of in wait and see mode on that. But if we do see the momentum start to pick up on that sell side, we'd be looking for the continuation. Anyway, I just wanted to go over the kind of bigger picture structure, and then now we can apply that to what we see in the order flow here. Okay, so some pretty strong buying actually coming in right now. Likely they're going to test up to here. Okay, 57, looking for it. Looking for follow through right now up to about 57. This is where it just dropped from up here. All right, so let's see if you can get these buyers to continue here. They just tore through this liquidity here. Okay, and they're still buying. Well, bit of a pullback now. Okay, all right, there's our pullback. Now let's see them try to buy off of this here, and let's see if we can get back up to 52 and then 57. Another thing that we kind of noticed, let me see that, show that tweet again, I think. Is worthy here to cover is the quite a bit of iceberg buying that we saw yesterday here at the open on the way down, and then here down at the close. Now there is quite a bit. I mean, we're looking from 0 to 10,000 here, so that's a lot. So it's quite choppy. We've got a lot of hidden orders being filled. Nonetheless, you can see what happened in the overnight. This was just leg 1, and then it went sideways, and then leg 2 down into 38.20. Okay, so let's jump into what's happening now. The strong buying here, I thought we'd get back up here to 57. We didn't. In fact, we see sellers, battling it back. It is on lower volume though right now. Okay, this is quite a bit of buying in here. Some nice stop runs as well. They went into this liquidity and through it. Okay, so we're still kind of looking for support on the buy side here. Okay, this is a low volume pullback. All right, so look at all the buying in here and look at the selling in here. Okay, we can use this. This is a good trick here to put this within your chart range. Okay, use the zoom by drag tool, hover here, left click, hold, and drag to current market. We have this now within our viewable chart range, and we can look at our CVP. Okay, it's giving us a profile now of this action, so we can assess it now. In fact, we can duplicate it and just right click, insert a new column, right click in again here and go to configure, and I'll make it into a delta chart. Okay, we also have, I don't have the imbalance indicators up here. That is funny. Okay, let me see. I think I can add them in here. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Okay. All right, we can also look at the imbalance indicators here because this is now within our chart range, and it's making that calculation in here. And take a look at the volume imbalance. So we see there's more buyers than sellers. Okay, plus 4%. It's not a whole lot, but there are more buyers than sellers. Okay, we can look at the delta in here, and you can see quite a bit more buying in the delta compared to the selling in here. All right, so this is is a low volume pullback. Okay, we look for more buyers to come in on low volume pullbacks here. So this is it. It just went down again here. This is a good area for them to come in. Let's see if we get our buyers come back up to the top of the range and then up to 52 liquidity here. Okay, now that would be scenario 1, a low volume pullback. The other scenario here would be the sellers to come in and push it through our pivot point right here. Okay, so if we see a lot of selling coming in here right around 45 or 44, then likely they're going to trade not only back down to 42 but 40 and lower. Okay, so in fact it looks like they're going to do that. It is a low volume pullback, but we're just not seeing the buyers come in. Okay, so looking for sellers to try to push it through this here and go lower. And watching it closely here. They haven't done it yet. There's action on the bid all of a sudden. And now we're starting to see some support here on the bid, and we're starting to find our buyers. Okay, that was a nice little head fake there. Now we're back to the second, or that primary scenario of low volume pullback and a move to 52 and 53 now. Okay, this was pretty tricky in here. One more push back down below our pivot, and then we saw the order book start to light up, and we start to see some buyers come in here. Okay, we need to see them supported again here, those buyers. They're there. Okay, all right, buyers, let's see it move up to 50, 52, 53. We need to see them right here around 46, because it's pretty clear sailing all the way up to 52 to 53. Come on, buyers, let's see it. Nudge in there. There they come. And now want to see them kind of squeeze higher. We want to see a stop run here. We want to see them move up into 50 to 53. Here, more support in the book. Okay, that's good. On the bid, there's also some on the offer here. Still more buyers than sellers, so still looking for the move higher. The offer is becoming pretty aggressive here, but I'm still looking for these buyers to take them on here. Pretty dark in the order book at the moment, so it's all up to the aggressor here. There's a low with no selling, another low with no selling. Okay, buyers right here, right now, that's where we want to see them, right here at 47.5, and then the push higher. Let's see it, buyers. Nothing. There's some. There we go. All right, let's see them push it higher. Still looking for the move higher through that liquidity on up to 52. See how the order book lit up here on the bid? They traded into and through that. The order book lit up here, looking for it to still go higher. Looking for our 52 and then 53. There's 52. Okay, this is pretty strong buying. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, so now we got to get up to the previous swing first, which is right here at 53. There they are. Okay, now we're looking for the move to our what we looked at earlier here. We're looking for the move up to here, 57.5 or so. Okay, let's put our line in somewhere around here. Okay. Okay, any questions on this? We had some really good questions yesterday about how to go through the process of reading this and putting these pieces together, how to read the order flow. We're starting from the top down, our bigger picture. I've been doing things a little differently the last day or two to go through the bigger picture. The irony is that it's actually based on the smallest picture of all. I think it's just a little more comprehensible when we cover the higher time frame first. Okay, so for example, let's ask a question in here. In this viewable chart range, who's in control? So what do you guys think? And tell me, where did they take control and where did they support it? All right, Discord guys, you guys are going to answer first because you don't. There's a few seconds that you have edge on the YouTube guys. 43-ish, 44-ish. Yeah, I would say so. Definitely. Here, look at that. Tears through it. Pretty steep pullback, and then in here it's like, okay, are they going to do it? Are the sellers going to take control? And even though it's a low volume pullback, we've seen it a million times. They'll do it, and then hit into these lower areas. Okay, so no, we did get the buyers come in. That was kind of tricky. They came back in. We got another pullback here and a bounce. And then we saw the buyers start to come in here, and we're looking for a move higher. Okay, now we were still looking for that move higher. We just came up to the swing, and that was it. Now, and in here, sellers or buyers are in control even in this move here, but not anymore, right? So actually, these buyers here can be a fuel for the move lower now. Okay, because anyone that bought in here and is still holding it, they're going to be sellers down in these areas here. Okay, so are the buyers still supporting it? So far, so good. I mean, we're still bouncing here off of our pivot line. Okay, where the buyers took control here. Okay, we can also look at this here in terms of volume. Someone I think was asking in YouTube here. Yeah, yeah, good answer, guys. 38.44, perfect. And then also at this kind of 48-ish area as well, Santiago. Yeah, I would agree. On a smaller time frame. They're really kind of on the verge of out of control though. So we're kind of watching to see if we get some sellers in here. And then we're going to push through our pivot line. Kind of like we already did kind of push through it a little bit here. Okay, so we have the potential here to push through it. So we're going to watch closely and see if these, and let me just mark it up here. So we're looking at these buyers in here to be sellers, and a stop run probably down into this area here, something like that. Okay, also anyone that's buying and holding in any of these areas in here are going to feel the pain. Okay, so let's watch this intently here, looking for it. Nothing really set up right now, but just looking for huge sellers starting to come in, looking for that offer to lower here, looking for this bid at 44 to maybe pull some of that liquidity. Here's our offer. Look at 49 come in. Okay, it's kind of far away, but let's see the reaction. Okay, do we get sellers? No, not really. We're getting buyers. Okay, so there's our context. Buyers seem to be kind of interested in 49. Okay, now it's going away from it. Okay, we're still looking for sellers here, looking for them to pull here at 44. Okay, I think the sellers got it. Let's see them push now to 42 and 40. No, one more bounce. Boy, this is choppy. This is another head fake in here. It's tricky. We were a little kind of duped in here, and then they did it once more here, and it's choppy. You know. Anyway, our structure, it still looked pretty good. We are making lower lows and lower highs in here, and we saw sellers at the lows, so we went with it. Let's see if we get them again in here. Let's see the sellers come in. Now, this is where we want to see the sellers, is basically here around 46. Okay, and they're not. We're getting buyers. Let's see, would you get some sellers in here again? Just curious. Nope, nothing. Buyers on the squeeze. Let's see if they can reach back up to 52. Now again, these, we talked about this yesterday in terms of like being a prime kind of order flow reading or not. And this is not a prime order flow reading. We're not getting the kind of look here from the aggressors nor from the order book. Good to see them on the bid here at this higher level at 47. That's good. Okay, so you know, we got some pretty dark areas in here, and the aggressors can just move it, you know, up to these areas, back down to these areas, and just back and forth. Yeah, I'm looking to see for these sellers to test these guys at 46 here, or 47. There they go, and they're pulling. All right, so we've got that. Now let's see if they can continue, and then we're looking for bottom of the range here, 44.5. Again, it's not prime setup here or reading here, because look at how dark it is in here. Right now, it's playing out, but still, like, you know, we just didn't have a good kind of read on that. Okay, sellers coming in now. Now it looks like they're ready to move it. Okay, let's see if they can. Be careful in here. Still, we got our sellers down here, and now we're looking for the move. Okay, pullback. Now pullback is fine. It's kind of expected. Okay, now looking for them again here, and let's see if they can follow through. Nope. All right. So anyway, we got to see something quite a bit from the sellers in here. Else it's going to be another squeeze to the upside into 47.5. Wow, look at that here on the offer. One large player with about 500 contracts is kind of bullying the order book, pushing price down. They want to move it. Let's see, is he taking on? Yeah, he's taken on. Someone traded into him. So we still, even with this bully in here, look at that bully moving it down like this. He did trade, looks like here. Yep, right in here, 430. Okay, so we're finding buyers still. One thing we covered yesterday, which we can go through, is the when we don't have that prime setup, we can look for these range-bound trades. What is this in here? This is one larger player, okay, with quite a bit of liquidity, 500, and see the little white line there? That's showing that our large lot tracker. So probably about 500 and I don't know, something, maybe 500, maybe a little bit more, is one individual actor just totally bullied the order book there. This is like a spoof. Okay, now is it a spoof? No, it's not, because he actually transacted right here. Okay, so he you know, he stayed in the order book. You know, we don't know the intent here because he did transact. So maybe he's just trying to get out, and he's afraid price is going to move away, so he wants to get out. I don't know. Okay, but we know he transacted. Okay, so, and we know we found buyers down here. That helped us understand that we found buyers down here. Okay, and then we're talking about maybe the possible short squeeze to the upside here. Okay, and we're getting that, and here are the stops. Okay. when uh, when I ask questions, you look at my chart here, Alec, and like I don't have it right in front of me. Um, yeah, I mean, your chart is probably different than mine. You probably got you're looking at specific setups, etc. But the reading here is we do the same reading every day, or the same readings. Okay, so look at this here now, and this could be a potential range bound trade. Okay, now this is not my kind of style here, but we're just it's pretty dark underneath here. We've come up to the top of this range here, and then let's see if we can find some sellers and trade it back down to about here. Okay, see where the buyers kind of came in, retested, and then went higher. So I'd be looking for them to come back down and retest here. Right, because see how dark it is in here. There's a little bit of action here at 38.50, not much, but let's see if we can get maybe a range bound trade. Yeah, not seeing it whatsoever. Instead, we got a little bit of the bid lit up a bit, and we found some buyers. Okay, now this could fail though, so let's see if we get a fail here on this. Let's zoom out a little bit too. Boy, now this is pretty good buying. I think we're going to get up to our 57 here, maybe even higher. Back up into here. Yeah, this is pretty strong. And see how the bid supports it. Okay, we got to 57, not to 58 though. But they're supporting it here. And it's starting to transact. Not seeing anything great in here right now at all. They're on the offer here. They're on the bid here. Okay, there's a skew on the bid. Let's see if we do get some buyers up here around 56. We should get the move up into about 58. Yeah, looking for buyers here. There we go. All right, buyers. Let's see you take it higher here. I think you got it. At least, we're just looking for a couple point move here. Nope, can't do it. Back into the range here. Okay, buyers, let's see it now. Should get our move 58. They came down, retested. These guys will be the fuel here. If we can get up here at 56. And then we should see a nice little squeeze, or short pop here. Stops popped up into 58, maybe 60. Now the offer is showing some size there around 56 and a half and a little lower. Okay, we've got a lot of selling in here. Are they going to take control? Maybe. Or are we going to see buyers come in, right? Yeah, we're going to see buyers come in now and look for the squeeze back up to maybe 56 and then 58. No, still more sellers. Still looking for it though. Let's see it. Let's see it, buyers. Let's see the squeeze now. You got it. You got all of these guys on the hook here. You're above it. You just need to buy. That's it. This is the rectangle here. That's the fuel here. They're letting them take control though. Like there was no buyers up here. So looking for sellers down here now, and then looking for the follow through lower. It's going to be a choppy day again. We'll get some clarity with some of the data, I think, this week, tomorrow, and that should kick things off. Okay, back down here, looking for the sellers again and follow through. They're starting to pull on the bid. Just need to find more sellers here. Can't do it. Buyers come in, back up to the range. Small, tight range right now, only a few points wide. Okay, let's see these guys pull, or they get filled. Some of it got filled in there. All right, that's a nice trap right there. Let's see if we can get buyers again in here now. Yeah, looking for them. This is where we're looking for them to break it and then back up to 56 here. We want to see them trap these guys. Okay, and so you'll see pullbacks come to here, and that's it. Now see how the sellers are going to be, they're in control. See how they're in control here? Now we should get the drop then on the sell side, and looking for the move down to 45 and then now 42, 41. Here's why. Here's the trap. Here are the buyers. Here's a lack of buyers, more sellers. We put this line in here at 51 and a quarter. This is where we need to see the buyers support it so that they just can't take it lower here. Then these guys remain trapped. Okay, well, this allows the sellers to take total control here. In fact, these guys are trapped. Okay, now we should get some stop runs to the downside. We have one here already, looking for another one. Okay, same concept. Our buyer's going to bounce off of that. All right, let's see if we get sellers here right now. If we do, yeah, looks good. All right, looking for these sellers here to try to take this lower now. Okay, looking for 48, and then the break down to 42, 45 and 42. It's not a prime setup or reading here again. That would be the kind of direction we're looking for here. Okay. Boy, it's a battle. Still looking for these sellers though. I mean, they're not remaining trapped. You know, so the sellers are still in it. And here we go. Here's our push. Now we should get the break. I want to see more on the offer here. This is looking better though as a read and for a move lower. Okay, more of a prime setup here. I still don't like that it's really dark here though. I want to see them really kind of close and shut that off. Else buyers can whip it right back up into these areas here very, very quickly, right? So we want to kind of stay away from that kind of risk. But overall, it's looking better now because we're down here and we are finding the sellers. No, get the opposite, the squeeze back on, right? So I mean, you can see this kind of jockeying in here to get one side offsides, or you know, get some players offsides and then push it against them. Okay, and then they start the move. So in this case, it's all that selling in here. Finally they're trapped. Okay, look at the pullback here to here. This is not coming back here, right? We're gonna see this squeeze continue, likely to 58 and then 60 here. Yeah, 60 looks pretty good. Okay, let's see it then. Let's see if we get our squeeze and stop run. Guys, it's really all over the place here. I mean, we're trying to read, you know, current market here, and it just keeps on shifting and changing. And we can look at the bigger picture. Bigger picture, sellers remain in control below the pivot here at 57 here, and they're still in control. Right, some buying, a lot of buying though coming back in and pushing it back up into these levels. Okay, well, one thing we could do, and we covered this yesterday, is look for going with the bigger trend then. Okay, when will those sellers start to come in? When will they start to push it back down? And look for our move back down into 42 and 40 here. Okay, well, let's take a look here. Okay, yeah, our pivot line would be here. Let's just get rid of all these and redraw. Boy, we have something here. We also have something here. Boy, it's really messy in here. And we also have something around here. Yeah, I'll go with it though. If we, yeah, here we go. All right, sellers are coming in. Now, yeah, looking for it. Let's get down to 48. Now this is in line with the bigger picture. So, you know, we don't have the order book here really on our side yet again, but looking for the aggressors to move it and within the bigger trend here. Okay, so, you know, this is where I would have gotten in somewhere around here at 50. Our pivot line here, buyers above, sellers below it. Okay, we're down at 48. Probably take some off right there, half, and then try to let this run. Okay, in this case, this is what I would do likely, is take some off here, and then I would move my stop to overall break even on this because I'm looking for the runner, and then yes, just take the stop at break even. Oh, come on, here we go. Okay, so this is equal to that. This is where I would have gotten in. This is where my stop loss would be up here. Okay, so I'd still be in it, and this would be overall, right? So if I get stopped out up here, then I made nothing, or you know, I broke even basically. Maybe made a tick to cover costs. Okay, because I'm trying to give it some space to run. And it's not looking good. Okay, I'm going with the bigger trend. Okay, from here on down. Okay, we made a lower high in here. We see quite a bit of selling in here. We have some reasons. We need to get through this. Really important. We get through this 50 line right here. Okay, would I still be in it? Yep, I still would be in it. Something like that. It's not looking good though. Okay, this is looking better. Let's see if we get sellers here now. See exhaustion there. Looking for sellers here, and then push through our line again, our pivot line here. Here's our sellers. Okay, good. Would I add to this, to the sell side? No, I don't see enough selling in here to do that. I'll stick with the current position. But this is another place to add here. I just don't see the selling in here to justify that, if that makes sense. Now, these are not trade recommendations. These are just, you know, looking at order flow, reading the order flow, and then looking at a potential way to you know, understand how to practical uses of reading the order flow. Okay, so going through just one example here. Okay, there are many different ways to do it. Okay, so I'd still be in it. I just hung on by the skin of my teeth here, and would still be in it one leg. Okay, came back down. This is where I took partial, and we're back down and kind of bouncing around again here. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, now this here and what we're covering here, it's based off of this move and then sellers to get bound back down below it here. And that is the same as this here. Whoops, not that. Sorry, hold on. This, oh yeah, here we go. That is the same as this. Let's open this up in a new tab. Same as this here, right? Here's the move up. Our pivot line is right in here. I see the sellers starting to hit it. So I'm looking for leg one, bit of a pause, leg two. Now it went against me immediately and then it fell through. All right, but that's the concept here. And this is the same idea of what we're looking at here. This is where they took it up. This is where they're going to push it through. Okay, really choppy in here though. They, you know, came back up again, and that's a lot of buying in here. But look at how choppy it is. Sellers come right back, and we're back down here again. Now, one of the things to consider on something like this is we're going with the bigger picture. Okay, so here we're going with the bigger picture here. Okay, buyers in control, sellers take that control away and start to trade it below these guys. Okay, so now looking for leg one, all of this chop, and then follow through down into 42. Okay, and then I would reconsider at that point. Okay, so let's just mark up my stop so we know. You know, just this is a very general here, and looks like, you know, looks like it's not going to work out yet again. You can see this 38.50. Look at how that's turned into the pivot, right? Sellers below it, buyers above it, sellers below it, bounce here, buyers trying to get back above it, and looking pretty good. Looks like they got it, so likely this will hit our the kind of overall stop here. And it doesn't, not yet. Sellers back down below it. All right, sellers, then let's see it right here. 49 3/4, nothing. Okay, so it was worth a shot. Try to stay with it. Stopped out at break even. Okay, just not a trade recommendation, just some things to look at here, and consider for you know, your trading, like how you might want to bounce some of these ideas around, different concepts. We'll go over another one, and you know, start to understand, looking at bigger picture, then looking at order flow, putting the pieces together. All right, let me get back to some of these questions in here. I see a long list. Thanks, Pro Killer. So helping out Woodland here in Discord. Yeah, guys, if you know, there's not a whole lot of space here in Discord. We would continue in Discord, but there's only 50 in here. But you can listen to me in Discord here, and then watch in YouTube. Just note that there's going to be like about a 2 or 3 second delay, probably about a 3-second delay. All right. I do not have Eurex, Rhythmic Eurex, but they do offer it, Ramiz. Okay, look at the DAX or the FDAX or the FESX, SX. Boy, this is really kind of a really jumbled session. Like yesterday. Well, I talked to Tom as well, and it was just choppy all day, right? Anyway, just you know, looking to go with kind of the bigger picture and go with like same thing we did yesterday, looking at the bigger picture and going with that trend, okay, or that potential. Okay, so let's take a look here, right? What does it look like? God, it looks pretty horrible. So yeah, I mean, it still has a negative slant to it here on the 15. Not really on the hourly. Hourly is a tough read. It's kind of all over the place. The daily's better. On the daily chart, I wouldn't be surprised. This is going to be a really key level, this kind of what we just tested on the overnight here, right around this kind of 38.25 area or so. If we can see sellers below that, look out. We're going to come back down to here, 37.44. So it'd be like a 100-point move right there. So, you know, just kind of waiting and watching here. And buyers continue to squeeze. And let me get to YouTube here. Lots of questions in here, so that's good. Nick, in terms of looking at who's in control, it's like take a look at it. It's pretty simple. You know, take a look at this consolidation period over here, for example, right here, and then look who moved it away with size. Okay, we're looking for two things: the movement away in terms of points, and then also the size of the volume that's moving it away. Okay, it's gonna move it away to a new kind of value area. That's how you get these profiles. That's how you get ranges and breakouts and breakdowns, and then pullbacks to it, and then continuations, etc. This is where sellers took control of it in this small time frame. Okay, so look for that. We look for the same things in any of them in here, this is really choppy in here. This is clean. And this move lower. Okay, but in here, like, we're trying to put some structure on it, and it's a little more challenging. I mean, it's still doing it, and it will always do it. See, I just don't like this. I like, you know, the buyers up here, but look how it's dark again. Sellers will whip it right back down to the bottom of the range, 52. Or 52 3/4, right? And then you'll see it kind of bounce back up. So there's your range bound trades, so I hope that answers your question, Nick. And you know, I'll go into the very, very small time frame in the microstructure, and we can talk about that. Okay. How you can, you know, apply the same concepts here. No question about it. Okay, see how we had a kind of exhaustion here, and look at the buyers come right back in, back to the middle of the range, or that's not a good example. Okay, they're actually moving it. This is the range down here, and this is the buyers moving it away from here. And so just looking for it to come up to here. It did, and we had even more buyers in here. Okay, well, they should be able to come up to here. They did, and they pulled in here. They didn't pull up here at 57. Okay, and we didn't trade up here really either. They finally actually did pull here at 57. Sorry, and back and forth in here, and then see the sellers move it away from this area here. Okay. Back down to here, and then buyers moved it right back up to where it dropped from here. And I know it sounds like I'm making it up, but watch. Okay, here, here, here. Okay, now let's see, sellers. Okay, so now can sellers bring it back down to here? Let's see. The bid looks pretty good in here. So you see how they're kind of bouncing off the bid. Okay, so back up to the top of the range. Dark in here. Sellers can take it right back down here. All right, buyers at the top of the range, and then now the sellers. Okay, let's see the sellers take it to here, 53 and 3/4. Maybe back down to 53 and 1/4 here. See them pull. Okay, so there's our move. So it turns into another consolidation area in here. Yeah, not seeing much. All right, let's see if we can get buyers to try to move it right back to 53 here at this point. There they go. A little bit more, maybe 54. All right, so we'll go through this exercise again, but this concept here we're applying to also here. Okay, from the daily on down. Yeah, the two CVPs, one is showing delta and the other one is showing, I wanted to show delta here, and the other one is showing a composite of buying and selling. This is buy minus sell. Okay, and it gives, I really like the delta, what it can show here. So it can see, like, you can see this whole kind of range up in here, like buyers in control. And we can see a squeeze here, like a long squeeze. Like they're long in here, but watch them have to cover here. So look for sellers here, right? This is, we're getting it from this column here, looking for our sellers here, and watch the squeeze. Looking then for 47 down here. Here come the sellers. Now looking for them to pull it away here more, not just down to here to 50. I want to see them pull it away. Okay, they got a lot of buyers up here on the hook. We got to get down to 47.5, bottom of this range here. And our pivot line at 50 here has just been bashed around this whole session. Stop execution and icebergs. Yeah, we're looking at stops and icebergs here in the subchart. God, this is so choppy. No one wants to take a direction here. Just hit the other side, pull back, hit the other side. There's a 20-second delay. Nicolo, it shouldn't be. Okay, thanks, Brian. Some help there about the blurriness. How is it fuel in some of these areas in here? Because basically, you know, you get sellers down in these areas looking to drive it a certain way, and then they're on the hook. You'll see the move quickly away from that area, and then you should see the stop run like in here, for example. And you do. You see it actually quite a bit. You know, they really start to get stopped out in here. And you should see another one in here. Because you know, we're looking for these sellers to drive it lower here. Going with the bigger picture, buyers came right back in, top of the range again. So just think about it. In an area of consolidation back and forth, then we can zoom in again here and look at the microstructure. Okay, so look in these areas in here, and then watch how one will get upended, and then watch the market pull away from those areas. Okay, so right now it's just consolidating. Okay, we don't really have any insight right now. That's why we're looking for absorption and exhaustion in these markets to give us a kind of a clue. So you see buyers up here, buyers, watch this. Okay, so either the buyers are going to take control and trade up to 58, okay, which they may do. This is pretty small time frame. Or watch this. If we get a lack of buyers up here, right here, and you see sellers back down here, then all of these guys that bought up here are trapped, and watch the move back down to here and below, maybe 54. Okay, so here or here. All right, see how dark it is in here? Sellers have a clear path. This would be a trap. And then looking for sellers to drive it now. And then we're looking for a stop run to verify that. Okay, a little bit, not much. Still looking for more. So, they didn't hit that many stops. So can sellers like hit it even further here? And not yet. Yeah, so we only got down to this one here, and just a little bit shy of it. And yet again, buyers. This is actually why we look at lower lows and lower highs, or higher lows and higher highs, because you can still see if someone's still in it or not. We were looking for a stop run down here. We didn't really get it. It's the opposite. We're getting the stop run here, right? So all of these sellers in here are the ones that actually got upended. Okay, and others, all the sellers in this whole range in here. Okay, now if this is a huge stop run here, it's not really new buying coming in. Okay, so then let's see if we get sellers and move it right back down to here, 60, and maybe 58. Let's look at our structure here, because we were looking at this earlier. This structure here. Again, guys, this is nothing really like nothing really standing out here. We're just kind of going through the order flow reading, but nothing really standing out in terms of like higher or prime type of order flow reading. All right, let's take a look at this again. Answer your question. Who is it, Nicolo? Okay, well, more buyers. I mean, they're see how they're not, and they remain in control. They will be out of control here, down here, the buyers. Okay, and you'll see it happen early on. It'll be in a smaller consolidation period to begin with, and likely maybe this one here. So look for sellers here, okay, if that's the case, right? So they're pretty firmly in control right now. So there's 66. Wow, big iceberg. Not that big, a couple hundred. Okay, a couple hundred into 66. Not many stops. All right, so here we are down bottom of this range in here. Okay, so now let's see, and we want to see the sellers move it away here quickly and down to here. Okay, should get it. Still looking for it. And hit it, sellers. There we go. And I'm looking for them to take it lower, actually. So let's see if they can. I'd love to see it get down into maybe just down to here, 61-ish. Okay, does that make sense? Let's see, is it, I think it was Nicolo. What do I make, Chauncey, of the orders that chased at 11:06 in 30 seconds? Let's take a look. Okay, Guido, you have to go. Jill used 2 times speed on the wheel to keep up as live as possible. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Looks like I'm kind of caught up over here. We don't give out, Last King, we're not giving out signals or anything. This is all about reading order flow. This is about education. And then once you understand how to read order flow, you're in the driver's seat, basically. And you can apply it to any strategy you want. You want to look at volume profile, you want to look at candles, what doesn't matter. Once you understand the order flow in here, it is complete. It gives you a lot of freedom, basically. Okay, so here's our move into 61. Okay, I would imagine we're probably going to get some buyers here and try to move it back to about here, maybe 61 3/4. Just a pullback, maybe 61. But no, we're still finding sellers. They're still dropping it. 58 and through. And through. All right, so then let's see if we can get it down lower into 55. This is a brutal move. You know, it climbed all the way back up into this little cluster up here. And we were just looking for the move back down into here previously, and that was it. Okay, and then we're seeing more here. And they're back down into these areas here. Okay, yeah, still look for buyers to maybe move it right back up into here, 60. Okay, just a pull back here, retest this area, see if there are any more buyers in here. If we don't get that and we get our sellers in here, this is no different than that other setup from yesterday, looking for sellers to just move it away from here really quickly. Okay, back down to 54, down to 50. Right, here's our pivot right around here at 57. This structure, top of this range, and looking for sellers. One of the scenarios is to look for sellers to just drive it away. Okay, we had a beautiful stop run in here. Yeah, I like this. I like this back down to the 50 level here. Let's see, 1106 and 3/4. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, this guy, right? Yeah, good one. So, 500 contracts or so chasing. Just totally chasing here. And it looks like they got filled. This guy, he looks like he's basically kind of screwed. And wants to get out of the market. So it's chasing up after price. We can look at this in terms of a spoof, but it's not. I mean they want to get filled, and they did. The spoof doesn't want to get filled. They want to use their leverage and order book size to influence price to get it to move a certain direction, but they don't want to take the risk, so they'll pull that liquidity. They won't get filled. And that's a good one though. Yeah, from down here all the way on up. And let's see, when did the market 1106? Now the market still went higher. After this guy gets out, it's likely, okay, well, now we can kind of reverse that back down. Yeah, pretty poor market. And again, look, prime scenario here. We're not getting too much last couple of days, but that's fine, just as long as we realize it's not prime. And therefore, yeah, we'll still make the call, but just say it's not. And it may do it, but it may not. The reading is not as good. It's not as strong. It doesn't have all the pieces. Therefore, the aggressors can take it one way or another very quickly. Like right now, we should see it come up into 60, but look at how it's dark in here. Get some sellers in here and trade it right back down to 55 or 56, and then maybe 55. Right? It's up to the aggressor in here. We don't know if they're going to do that or not. Right? What we do know is when we have something in the order book, and we know the reaction to that order book size is it repels the, let's say it's on the offer here and they're at a lower level and it repels price, we find sellers. Well, then we have much better clue or insight that we're going to test the bottom of the ranges. Okay, and then maybe even break that range. And in here, we're not getting that, and we're just getting this back and forth, which is fine. We can look at range bound strategies as well. It's not my forte, but when we don't have something, and the market isn't giving us that insight, there's more of a likelihood it's going to trade back into the range. I just don't like being at the kind of the mercy of these aggressors in here. They'll just move it up, move it right back down, move it back down, etc. And very quickly. See, look at how there's not a whole lot of liquidity in here. You can move it down to 56 pretty quickly. Here's a reaction to 58 and buyers. Okay, well, let's see if is this a false breakout. Let's take a look. And let's take a look in here. Let's go through this process. Here's our range. If I can draw this up quickly enough. Here's our range. Here's our break of the range, right? We're looking for it to come down to 58 now. No, they bring it right back up and we find more buyers. So it's actually the opposite, the move up into 61, 62. Yeah, so we bounced off, we came back down to here, the bottom of this range, not the liquidity. We came back down to the bottom of this range, and then the buyers came in here. We had more buyers in here, and they started to pull in here, right? So that's when we're looking for. It's a quick move, I know, but you know, that's what's unfolding here, and we'll look at it again in here. Okay, so still buyers. Okay, starting to go into a range. Okay, lack of sellers. Now a little bit. Okay, buyers. But still kind of in this range, bigger range here. Okay, moving outside, now moving back in. Now let's see the sellers take it to the bottom of this, back down to 61.5 here. Maybe lower, maybe down into 60 here at this point. Okay, bid is still pretty strong though. I want to see these guys pull, and I want to see the offer light up. Okay, there it goes a little bit. Now, do we get sellers? Yes. Okay, so back down to here, 61.5. There we go. Okay, now can the sellers move it away from here? Doesn't look very good. Looking better. Still pretty dark in here. Don't want to see that. Careful here. Still dark in here. Don't like it. Okay, sellers are still in control in this small move here. So then they got to move it now. 60. There we go. Beauty. And now we'll reassess it again. Look, guys, I know it's not much of a move, but you know, we got to do something here. There's not a whole lot going on. We can zoom out, go through the bigger picture, and then maybe start to summarize here. Yeah, yesterday maybe it wasn't quite as volatile, but just as choppy it seemed. Boy, I don't know. I'm not seeing too much. Yeah, this was the open and the move higher, and then so far today, I really like seeing this, the sellers below here. That's where I thought we'd get back down into these lower levels, but we see the buying off of it, and we're back up into some of these upper levels again. Okay, European close is happening right now, so we might get some nice volatility here. All right, let's see if the sellers can come back down into this little range here and then drop it. Let's see it. No, looking for it, looking for these sellers to pick it up here at this bottom edge, down to 62.5, down to 61.25. Now they're pulling here, so that's good. Looking for our sellers. Nope. Sellers, here we go. Let's see them move it down to the bottom of the range again. See how dark it is, and watch them just fill it in here. Because they can. Okay, it's ripe for them to do that again. Instead the bid is starting to light up yet again. Yeah. I mean, Dr. Mumu, yeah, there's a bunch of randomness in here, but you know, we look for these kinds of order flow imbalances to give us some insight, and looking for something more kind of, you know, to hang our hat on, something that gives us a better reading in here, when we have kind of all the pieces aligned. And the last couple of days, it's been a struggle to get that. And you know, and we recognize it, and still looking for a move this way or that way. It's just not as strong. That's all. Yeah. So let's zoom out here. Let's take a look at this bigger picture. We're making new highs again here. This thing just continues to squeeze. Boy, I don't like it at all. I'm not even sure. Like, yeah, I'd be looking at this little area here, 67.5, and then maybe this area up in here, 72, 73, or 74, somewhere around there. This cluster is the best reading that we have, but we're above it already. So then we go to the next one, or we go to high liquidity, or we go to the figure, a number. This isn't bad right here, right in here, and the drop, right? The sellers come in. Okay, this one's better, right in here. Yeah, boy, this is not a good, not much of a read up here either. Yeah, I just go with that one, 71.25 or so. I think we're getting there. All right, anyway, guys, so let's take a look at this bigger picture. The bigger picture is kind of a mess in here. I'm still wondering if we're going to get back up to the top here, or is this going to be turned into like just one big move back and forth in here, back down to the lows of like 42 or so, and then bounce around in here. I'd love to see the scenario here, the same idea, same concept, with sellers down below our 47.50 line right there, or 50 basically, but 47.50 looks better. Maybe even this looks a little bit better, 45. There's high liquidity there on the bid already. Okay, but if we see sellers back down here, then the scenario looks good. Okay, so it would be this here. We'd be looking for big red dots below this area here, right around there. Then we're looking for the move, and we're looking for it back down to here, and then maybe even further. All right, so anyway, that's that. Let's take a look at our bigger picture and what's going on in here. And yeah, not much. It's just it still has a slant to the downside, as you can see in the structure. Our chart is a tough read. The daily in here is also not the greatest right now. It's just kind of testing back up into yesterday's action. Maybe we'll get a gap fill today if we see buyers back up at this top edge here at 38.80, and then we look for the move back up into 3900 and fill the gap, right? So you can see that we've accepted for a couple days now down below here so far, right? So yeah, it's this all of this kind of mess in here still has a downward structure to it. Okay, so considerations are, yeah, we'll start to look at your structure in here. Where there are sellers before in the wicks, or trend lines or ranges or whatever, and then look at Bookmap. Okay, so we're getting back up there again, and this is where we found sellers on that 15-minute in this little range here between 48 to 75, or 48. I'm sorry, no, 70 to 75. Okay, so I would assume there's still sellers up here. Okay, and so this is looking for then exhaustion, or stop run, exhaustion, the offer to start to chase underneath, and looking for aggressors to move it away from some of these areas in here. And then that would go with the bigger trend. All right, and then we'll come back and reassess here. Yeah, Anthony, I thought we'd retest the lows earlier. Right in here, I thought we'd do it. You can see the pivot line here at 50. Right, and then it just really bashed around there a lot this entire session. So yeah, that's the reading here, and yeah, nothing to really kind of give us more insight at the moment. Let's see these sellers move it right back down to here, 63, and then maybe we get the break here. We have some selling down here. Okay, buying back up here, but if it fails, it's back down in the middle of the range. Looking for sellers, looking for sellers. There they are. Okay, sellers, drop it into 62.5, and let's see if these guys pull, and then we get a better move here. Okay, so how would you get involved in that? Well, first off, is it a high quality read? Not really. But just because it's dark in here, we're looking for sellers to move it back down to here. And then the concept would be like if you got in here, basically, because we see the selling coming in, we're looking for them to then take it through here, back down to the bottom of the range, and take some partial profit, because it's, look at how dark it is again here, right? So buyers can whip it right back up to here very easily to 65. Okay, so take some out of the market. We might get the bigger move, but how many times have we not today and yesterday? There's our move. Okay, so partial profit taken and looking for the bigger move here. Now the European close is taking place. We might get a real nice move now at this point. Right, and this is in line with the bigger picture here. Right, so I'll leave you guys with that. We'll see how this plays out and see if we can get back down into 55 or maybe 50 here. Okay, based on this read up here, and looking for follow through now. We also have something else more on our side here, and that is the European close is taking place. All right, so, and we're going with the bigger trend here. All right, so there it is. Let's leave it at that. And guys, it's selling's looking pretty good. So let's see if we can get our continuation here and manage it correctly. Again, it's not a trade recommendation, right? We're going with the bigger trend. We're just looking for the read to be back down into these areas here, based on the order flow reading here. Okay, now then apply that to your trading strategy, and does this order flow read meet your strategy and your trade management? Some considerations for you. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. We will catch up with you tomorrow for a little bit. We'll review a little bit, and then we have J Trader and stocks for tomorrow's session. Okay, and then Thursday will be Scott Pulcini. Thanks for coming, everybody. Take care.